Hi, okay, we've made it. You are at the end of the course. It's our final session together. This is our consolidation of the entire course. So we're going to be throwing everything at you. And it's a lot because we've done a huge amount in this course, lots and lots of learning. So first off, really, really well done, okay. We are going to randomly go through this. So I'm chucking things at you to get your brain to kind of move around with all the learning that we've done, with all that content. And I do want you to treat it like it is a test this time and try not to look things up. What you want to know by the end of this is where your strengths are, what you've really, really secured and you're comfortable with, and what may need a little bit more work. And then please, please remember, you have this course for 12 months. So just like in the classroom, if we've got an area that we know we need to revisit, we revisit it, we give it a break. We don't go back to it for a little while. We give it a break. And then when we're ready, we go back and we have a look so that we can strengthen those areas as well. So do use the course for the 12 months that you've got it. Okay, so we're going to crack on. We're probably going to do this in two parts because they can get quite big. There's a lot of content and I worry about the file size. So I will probably do it in two parts. And to be honest, you'd probably want to yourself do it in two parts. It's going to be a big bit of learning. All right, there's your first question. I want you to hit pause and press play when you're ready. Okay, so a quarter as a decimal is 0.25. Now, if you used your place value grid, and I'll just show it quickly, we need to get either a 10 or 100 on the bottom, and it would have to be 100. I would be timesing by 25, both the top and the bottom. That would get me my 100, 25 on the top, and there is my equivalent fraction, 25 hundredths, 0.25. So don't forget that grid. It's really, really good. And then straight away, because I've done that, I can now pop in my 0.7 if I want to, and I can see that that is under the tenths. So that is 7/10. 0.4 is a percentage. Remember, this is our percentage column. Let's just get rid of that little bit of working out there because it's getting in the way now. So I want 4. I've got 0.4, but I want it as a percentage, and I'm not under the percent column yet. So I fill in that 0, and it's 40%. Okay, so 8.2 times 7. Up to you how you do this question. I've said throughout the course that I am going to just use the Chinese grid because one go-to, one thing to learn and remember makes way more sense than having loads of things to do. And it doesn't take 5 seconds to pull it together. 2 times 7 is 14. 8 sevens are 56. Out drops the 4, out drops 7. And you've got 5, 7, 4. Now, remember, we are coming in one place because of the question. So my final answer is 57.4. Okay, you had to work out the fraction. Now, hopefully you spotted you didn't need smash window for this because the denominators are already the same. If I've got 5/12 and someone gives me 3 more, 3/12, then I've got 8/12. So this is 8/12. And they wanted it in its simplest form. So I have to cancel to get full marks on this one. I can see it's in the 4 times table. So I'm going to divide by 4, which is going to give me 2/3, 2/3. All right. So nice bit of number work going on there. All right, next question. Moving on to ratio. Hit pause, press play when you're ready. Okay, just like fractions, we cancel, we find a times table that they're both in. I'm going to divide by 4. 4s into 4 go 1, 4s into 12 go 3, and we're done. All right. There's your next question. Hit pause, press play when you're ready. Okay, so Josh and Harry have some identical packets. Josh has 10, Harry has 26, and the total weight of the packets are 648. And you have to work out the total weight of just Harry's, okay? So this one you may have spotted has 3 pieces of information. 3 pieces of information, and you need to find a fourth, is very often our boxes and labels. So where's our fact? Our fact is a little bit hidden in the question. We know the total weight of the packets. Total weight of the packets. How many packets have I got in total? 36. So my fact is 36 packets weigh 64.8 kilograms. I just want to know what Harry has. Harry's got 26. So I put that in the packets column and then I'm good to go. So 36 is my trapped number. Set it all up. Remember, you may very well put yours the other way around. It doesn't make any difference. It's just get that denominator in the right place. And you've got 46.8 kilograms. Now, remember, boxes and labels is a tool. I'm going to demonstrate it all the way through wherever it can be used so that you can get used to knowing where it can be used. But equally, you can answer these questions without it. And if you have and you've got your 46.8, all good, all good. All right. Okay, our next question. Hit pause, press play when you're ready. Okay, so again, we've got 3 pieces of information. 1 kilogram, with it being in words, it can sometimes be harder to see, but there it is. You've got 1 kilogram of carrots that cost 96 pence. And that's a fact. So I've got a fact, and when I've got a fact, they can go side by side in my boxes and labels, okay? Now, I do need to be careful before I start populating this, because what I've got is kilograms and grams, and I have to work in 1 unit only. I can't work in different units. So I'm going to be changing my kilograms into grams. So there are 1,000 kilograms. And just put 96 in at this stage, okay? Now I want to know what 450 is. So 1,000 is what I'm dividing by. And then I'm pop that in my calculator and I will get 43.2 pence or 43 pence or that. Okay, never, 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 by the way, never that. You'd actually lose marks if you did that because you're combining units. Yeah, we couldn't work in kilograms and grams because they were different units. You can't work in pounds and pence at the same time because they're different units. All right. Okay, so next question. There you go. Hit pause, press play when you're ready. Okay, so with this question, we've got a lot of information and it's about picking out what's right. We've got information here about sugar, but the question is work out the amount of flour he needs. So the sugar is irrelevant information. So it's important that we're just picking out the detail that's important to us. Now we know that 50 grams of butter is needed to make 15 biscuits. That's a fact, which means it's boxes and labels. So I can set my box and label up. And think about the question, it's the flour. Here, they're telling me 2 times as much flour is needed. So I've got to take the butter, times that through by 2, and I know that it's 100 grams of flour that are needed for the 15 biscuits. So I'm going to put 100 in here, 15 in here. They're my biscuits. That's my flour or my grams, whatever I want to refer to it as. Your labels are, you know, whatever you want them to be, as long as they make sense. We want 60 biscuits. So then you look to see, you can either trap number it, or you can just hopefully spot that that's times by 4, which means that's times by 4. So it's 400 grams of flour that is needed for that particular question. Okay. All right. Next one. There you go. Hit pause, press play when you're ready. Okay, so I'm going to go straight in with the answer. But remember when we did this, I was very much just put them in one at a time, let it be out of order, that's fine, and then reorder it. That way you're less likely to miss any off. This is what it should have looked like once you were at that stage of ordering. So 3, 9, 3, 3, 5, 7, 0, 5, 7, 8, 8, and 0, 1, 7, 9. If you miss one out, you'll lose a mark. If you duplicate, you'll lose a mark. If they're not in order, you'll lose a mark. So it's really, really important that you take your time with something like this. The other thing that you will lose a mark for is forgetting the key. So hopefully you've all remembered to do the key. So the key, 12/3, 123. All right. So well done if you got that right. Next question. You are writing the ratio 4/3 into the form n/1. This is definitely calculator, so feel free to use your calculator for this question. Okay, always write in columns. Get them on top of each other, not in this row, because then you can see what side you're working on. This side has got to go from 3 to 1. So I'm going to divide by 3. So I've got to do the same on this side. When I divide that through by 3, 4 divided by 3 is giving me 1.33, and on it goes. And the neat way to write that is with a dot over the recurring decimal. In your exam, you're very unlikely to get a recurring. I like doing it in practice because it keeps helping us remember about the notation and the dots and things like that. But in reality, you're less likely to see a recurring situation. You can see a decimal, but it doesn't tend to go on and on. Okay, here's your next question. Pause and press play when you're ready. Okay, so there's a total of 120. We can see that in the question, or we could add up, but there's no need. So 360 divided by 120 is 3. So that's what we're going to be timesing each one of these by, so that we can find our angle sizes. So we've got 180 degrees, 138, 54, and 60. And here is how your pie chart should look. All right, so make sure that you've got your labeling in, really, really important. It's not the degrees that are important, it's the actual subject that's important. Okay, so hopefully that went well. All right, there's your next question. Hit pause, press play when you're ready. Okay, so 120 people each took a driving test one day. 42 of them are women. So I can pop my 42 in, and of course I can straight away work out what my men are. It then says 36 of the 120 people failed their test. So that's 36 in total. So that circle and that circle must add to 36 eventually. 54 of the men passed. So 54 is going to live there. Now that's going to help me work out how many people failed. So 78 take 54 is 24. And then obviously I can use that 36. That tells me that 12 of the women failed. I can then go on and work out how many passed. So that's the tree populated. It then says one of the men are chosen at random, work out the probability that this man failed his test. Okay, now they are making it very clear that they're talking about just the men and not a person was selected at random. So it's going to be out of 78. and what was it, failed. So it's going to be 24 out of 78. Okay. All right, hopefully that went well. There's your next question. I would suggest that you have a go at both of those and then press play when you're ready. Obviously, no calculators. Okay, so, oh dear, I don't think that's going to work very well. It's not square enough. Let's try that again. That's a bit better. Okay, so you set your grid up. 56 times 3, 8, 4. Obviously, ignoring that decimal point to start off with, as always. Populate all the times tables and then start adding them out. So I've got 4, I've then got that 10 carry 1, 12, 13, 14, 15 carry 1, got 11 carry 1 and 2. So I've got 21504 coming out. Now looking at the question, I'm going to need to come in 2 places for that decimal point. So it is 215.04. Okay. Now the division. 82 divided by 0.6, dividing by a decimal, remember that is a problem. So we're going to be multiplying this to change it from a decimal to a whole number. So I'm going to times 10 to everything to keep it equivalent. That's going to give me 820 to divide by 6. So I've got 820 divided by 6. So 6's into 8 go 1, remainder 2. 6's into 22 go 3. 3 6's are 18, so I've got 4 left over. 6's into 40 go 6. 6 6's are 36, so I've got 4 left over. Now that 4 is hanging around, so we're going to stick the 0, stick the decimal in. Then 6 is into 40. I think we can all see what's about to happen. We'll go 6, remainder 4. We'll go 6, remainder 4. So we have 136.6 recurring. All right, so hopefully that went well. These skills are so important. Okay, question 11. Pause and press play when you're ready. Okay, so I'm going to use my boxes and labels just to structure things. Like I say, you don't have to, but I have got a fact. I know that 2 pens cost £4.76. So I'm going to put that in. So 2 pens cost £4.76. I want to buy 20 pens. So I'm going to times by 10. And timesing by 10 is just going to move that decimal point for me, isn't it? Okay. Set the same thing up for my folders. So I've got 5 folders. Whoops, I keep trying to write pound signs when I want to do an F. And I squash that in. Is £11.20. Again, I want 20. So I just need to times that by 4. So when I times that up by 4, I will get £44.80. And then I want to obviously add the 2 together. So I've got 47.60 and 44.80. And when I add those together, I get £92.40 as my final answer. And again, you don't have to use the box and the label. It's just me demonstrating how it can help if you're stuck. All right. Okay, next question. Press play when you're ready. Okay, nice straightforward one. Percent means out of 100. It needs to be in its simplest form. I can see they're even. So the first thing I'll do is half them. And then I'll look again to see if it will cancel. It won't cancel any further. So that is the final answer on that one there. All right, there's your next question. So hit pause, press play when you're ready. Okay, so we've got £300 being shared between 4 people. The ratio of the amount of money Alice gets to the amount Ryan gets is 2 to 7, and then Kaz and Sophie each get 1.5 times the amount Alice gets. Okay, so the first thing really to do here is to sort this out so that we can see the ratio of all 4. So we've got Alice, Ryan, Kaz, and Sophie. We've got 2 to 7 here, and then 1.5 times the amount Alice. So that's 2 times 1.5. Alice is 1.5. We need to double it. So that's going to give us 3 and 3. So that's my ratios. Put little dots in as well. Now, we've got to work out the amount of money that Ryan gets. Okay. So what we're going to have to do is take our ratios, because everyone's involved in the problem. £300 is shared between them all, so the total will get shared out. So we need a total column. The total in the ratio is 15. In the question, it's 300. What do I multiply by to get from 15 to 300? And that is 20. I actually only need to worry about what Ryan gets. So if I concentrate on Ryan, who is this person here, that's really the only one I need to times by 20. So 7 times 20 is 140. So £140 is what Ryan gets. Okay. Right, if that went well, well done. There's your next question. Hit pause, press play when you're ready. Okay, so I have a fact. Into my boxes and labels I go. I know that 3 kilograms costs 81, and I want to know what 2 costs. Now, if I have a calculator, boom, I'm going to just stick it straight in the calculator. If I don't, I'm just going to use the skills that I have. And it is honestly really, really straightforward. Divide by the bottom, times by the top. So 3's into 8 go 2, remainder 2. 3's into 21 go 7 exactly. And then 7 times 2, double that, and you've got 54 as your answer. And obviously that will be pounds, and that will be your final answer. Okay, so the box of the label structures it, and then boom, you're good to go, aren't you? All right. Okay, next question. Question 15. Hit pause, press play when you're ready. Okay, so I need to work out which one has better value for money. So again, I don't have to. These questions, I think a lot of students are comfortable without it, but as always, if I demo, then it makes sense. Now, I want to know what 1 costs. If I know what 1 costs, I can compare them. So I've got my yogurts costing £1.92 here. So 4 is my trap number. And obviously timesing through by 1 makes no difference whatsoever. That is going to give me 0.48. Repeat the process with your 10 yogurts. So I've got 10 costing £4.90. Okay. I want to know, oops, put it in the wrong column. I want to know what 1 costs. So this time we're dividing, and my head is ahead of my pen. This time we're doing that piece of maths, which is going to give me 49 pence, 0.49. But it does mean I can see very clearly now, and it's 4 yogurts. It's the better value. So make sure you answer that question. 4 yogurts. Okay. Oh, actually, I think there's another one there. Yes, there it is. Let's do that question next. Hit pause, press play when you're ready. Okay, so we've got our smashed window. Can't use it yet because I've got mixed numbers. So first thing I need to do is sort those mixed numbers out. So timesing through, adding in the top, remember, that's going to give me 13 over 5. And then the same on this one would give me 5 over 4. Now I can go into my smashed window. And I've got 13, 5, 5, and 4. So I've got 25, 20, and 52. Go back and check the question. It is a takeaway. So 52 take away 25 is 27. This question doesn't ask you to simplify or give your answer as a mixed number. So you could literally stop there and get all your marks. We will change it because it's good practice, but just be aware of that. It's a useful thing to know. So how many 20s can I get into 27? Or 1 with 7 left over the 20. All right. Hopefully that went well. So here's your next question. Hit pause, press play when you're ready. Okay, so the pie chart shows how some year 11 students travel to school. So we've got all the information in the chart. And Dr. Fox says less than 20% of the students in year 11 go to the school by car. And we have to see whether or not he's correct and explain our answer. So what we need to do is think about the fact that the total number of degrees in a pie chart is 360, okay? We can see, where's my little highlighter? There we go, we'll use that. We can see that by car, 70 degrees have been taken up. So I want to know what percentage this section actually takes up of the pie chart. That's the maths that I need to do. So I'm going to do 70 degrees out of the total 360. What is that as a percentage? Now, to change a fraction to a percentage, we times through by 100. So once we've done that, we get the answer of 72. Okay. So 72 degrees, this is what this is telling us, 72 degrees is equal to 20%. The car is 70%, which is less. And Dr. Fox says it's less than 20%. So he is correct. All right. And the way that we could do that is we could say, yes, 72 degrees is 20%. So 70 degrees is less. Try and answer it in a sentence when it says explain your answer. You've got the maths to support it. What they're really doing is checking that you understand the maths that you did. So quite a tricky question, I think, there. Yeah, just having to get into it in a slightly different way, aren't you, with that one? It then says 50 students in year 11 walk to school. So I would go to my walk and I would put my 50 in. And it says that I have to work out how many students cycle. So these are the two sections that are important to me right now, okay? What I now need to know, however, if I'm going to answer this question, is the degrees of this section, which has not been given to me. So again, it's just another layer to make things difficult. Now, it's easy for me to find it because it's angles around a point, 360 degrees in total. Take off what you know and it will help you find that. So that's the first piece of maths I'm going to have to do. So 360, take away what I know. That leaves me 100. So what I can now do is use my beautiful, wonderful boxes and labels and say that 50 people took up 100 degrees, okay, or 50 people walked, which was represented by 100 degrees. I want to know who cycle, which is represented by 150 degrees. So 100 is my trap number. Doesn't really matter where I put the rest of the numbers. You can have them either way around, as you know. And that's my final answer, 75. As long as you're getting to that 75, it doesn't matter what way you're doing it, as long as that method is clear so that you're showing the examiner you have a secure way to do it. But ideally, you will be using what we've seen in the course and yeah, making that work for you. Okay, next question. You can do this one now. Hit pause and press play when you're ready. Okay, you may have worked out by now that I'm just going to run straight through. We're making quite good time, so I'm not going to record in two parts. So if you do need to take a break, please do. Don't wait for me to end the video. We're just going to keep going. So let's look at this particular question. So I have got to obviously work out all these missing gaps to start off with. And it doesn't really matter where you choose to start, okay? There are a couple of places. I could find this one because I've got all three of those and just one missing. Or I could find this one, or I could find this one, or I could find this one. They've actually given me quite a lot of information, so I'm able to just kind of crack on with it, really. Okay, so I'm going to find this one first of all. So 17 plus the 14 is equal to 31. 40, my total, take away the 2 that I know, leaves me 9, and 9 will go in there. Then I've got 9 plus 13 to do, which is 22. And then again, you can do them in any order you like. So I'm going to do 29, take away 17, which is 12. And then I'm going to do 21, take away 14, which is 7. So that's completed the two-way table. It says, write down the probability that a family picked at random is from the USA going to Italy. So we've got USA going to Italy. The answer to that is 12 out of the families, which is 72. No need to cancel with probability. All right, so hopefully that went well. Let's go on to the next one. Hit pause, press play when you're ready. Okay, so Tilly's going to make some punch. We've been given a ratio for her ingredients and we're being told she needs to make 18 litres and does she have enough? So the first thing to do is to get this ratio out of this wordy question into a much more mathematical representation. So that's where we're going to start. So we have got cranberry, orange and lemonade in the ratio 1 to 3 to 5. And she needs to make 18 litres. Now, don't get bogged down by the litres, by the units, because actually it's just the number that we need. She needs to make 18, a total of 18 litres. So we've got a totals column going on here. Okay, so the total in my ratio is 9. 18 in the question, which means I'm timesing by 2. So I'm timesing everything by 2. Now I just need to go and check in, okay? So she has 1.5 litres, okay? She needs 2. So straight away I can see there's a problem, all right? And I'm going to highlight that. She doesn't have enough. I already can answer the question, but I want to answer it in full. So I'm going to double check everything, okay? So she has 8.5 and needs 6. So she's fine on the orange juice. She has 10 litres and needs 10 litres. So she's fine on the lemonade. It is just the cranberry juice that's the problem. So that's what we would write down. Does she have enough? No. Not enough cranberry. Okay? All right, next question. There it is. Hit pause and press play when you're ready. Okay, so we've got a percent. They're talking about a discount. So we've got a decrease. So we got a 2-tick question. So we write down the formula and then we concentrate on this here, because this is the bit that we have to know really confidently. Okay, we can't get any further without it. So when I'm doing a decrease, I'm doing 100% minus whatever it is in the question. That's going to give me 70%. 70% as a decimal is 0.7. So the original is 630. I times that through by 0.7, and then I get my result, okay, which is 441. So my answer is £441. All right, I hope that went well. There is your next question. Okay, so we have a percent and an increase. So it's another 2-tick question. So this time with an increase, we are adding on. And 103% as a decimal is 1.03. So we've got 2200 times 1.03, which gives me 2266. Now, be careful. Make sure you read the question. Aaron, we've got to work out what he's going to be paid per year. And at the moment, we're just working on his monthly earning. So we then take this answer, times that through by 12 to get his final annual salary of 27,192. Okay, that's a really good top tip. If I haven't said it before, always read that last line. When you've finished and got your answer, you read that last line of the question again, and it helps you go, yes, I've finished, I've answered it. Or it makes you go, oh no, I haven't quite finished. It's really easy when you've got into a question to think, oh, I've done it, when there's still more to do. So yeah, really worth being mindful of that actually. Right, there's your next question. Hit pause, press play when you're ready. Okay, now this is just a two-way table without them telling you it's a two-way table. You've been given a lot of information that needs organizing. So you have to literally set it all up yourself. So we've got men, male and female, and obviously we'll have a total here. And we're talking about EastEnders, Coronation Street, and Emmerdale. I might put an M on that as well. and we've got our total. So you get your grid all set up, and then you start putting all that information in. We know that 100 people were asked, 49 of the 100 were female. And of course, straight away, that means that I can put in the male, which you would do. I mean, if you can spot something obvious, you do it straight away. It then says 10 of the females liked Emmerdale. So in goes my 10. 16 men liked EastEnders. So in goes my 16. 21 of the 41 people who said Coronation Street were men. So that's 21 of a total of 41. And of course, I can see straight off there that that would be 20. So I might as well do that well as I see it. I have taken all the information. So now it is just a case of working everything out. So I'm going to do this one next. So that is going to be 16 plus 21, which is 37, and 51 take away 37 is 14. So 14 is going in there, which means 24 has to be going in there. I'm going to work out this middle one here now because these numbers are very nice. That's 30. So to get to 49, that has to be 19. And then I can just add that down to find the missing one, which is going to be 35. Okay. It says work out the total number of people that liked EastEnders. Well, that was the very last number I just put in the table, wasn't it? So the answer to that is 35. Hasn't asked me a probability question, just that. So do watch for that. They don't always give you just a table to work on. They will sometimes give you a very big wordy question. All right, there you go. I want you to hit pause, have a think about that. Remember, what do I know? How can I use it? And then press play when you're ready. Okay, so the first question, what fraction of the medals won by the United Kingdom were gold? Okay, so we don't know the medals, but we do know the degrees. So that's the fraction that we're going to be working on, okay? It is 150, pop it here, 150 out of 360, or you can cancel that down to 5/12. So 5/12 of the medals they won were gold. That's what we've answered by doing that, okay? It then says, if there were 24 silver medals won by the USA, how many bronze medals did they win? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take that 24 and pop it here. So I can see the pairing. I can see the connection. 60 degrees is worth 24 people. So I can stick that into my boxes and labels. Okay. So I've got 24 people taking up 60 degrees of my pie chart. They want me to work out how many bronze medals. Bronze takes up 210. 60 is my trap number. Set it all up and I get 84. So 84 bronze medals were won. The last part says in which country were more gold medals won, and you have to explain your answer. Now, the common error here is to say that the United Kingdom won more gold medals because their section of the pie chart is bigger. But it's not done on section size. It's done on number of people within the actual pie chart. And that's the information that we just don't know. We've got an idea of how many people were in the USA because they've given us some numbers, but we have no idea whether or not there were 80 athletes, 100, 300. We don't know anything about the UK, so we can't compare them. And that actually is the answer. We don't know. All right, so in which country were more gold medals won? We don't know because we don't have the totals for the pie charts. That would be the way to answer that question. Okay. All right, next question. Hit pause, press play when you're ready. Okay, so with this question, they've given us a table rather than an exchange rate, but it's still the same thing because every one of these I could be using if I wanted to as an exchange rate. So I've just got lots of options basically. So the first question says, Bobby changes £600 into dollars. How many dollars should he have? Now I can go straight here and use this if I want to. I could use this if I want to. And to be honest, I think I will use the 100 because getting from 100 to 600 is really quite easy, isn't it? So I've got my 100 matching to 120. What I want is 600, which all I have to do is times by 6. So all I've got to do here is times by 6. Remember, you can just ignore that 0. 12 sixes are 72, and then add that 0 back on. So the answer to the first one, how many dollars should he have? 720. It then says in LA, a laptop costs $540, and in London, the same laptop costs $460. And you've got to work out the difference between the two laptops and show clearly how you get your answer. So we need to either give our answer as a difference in dollars or as a difference in pounds. And as they haven't actually asked, it won't matter which way you choose to do it. I am going to do it in pounds. So I'm going to do my box and label and get my fact in, okay? And I'm just going to go back to the original now. £1 is 1.2. I've got $540, which I want to change into pounds. So that will go into that side. And then literally I've got 1.2 is my trapped. Timesing 3 by 1 isn't really going to make a difference. That gives me 450. And the difference between the two, 460, take away 450 is a £10 difference. And if you got that right, well done. And that was our last question. We are finished. We are done. So massive, massive congratulations. Really, really well done. It's a big course with a lot of learning. Please remember, you do have it for 12 months. Anything that you feel didn't go as well as you would have liked, revisit it, but revisit it in a little while. Later on, take a complete break from this part of maths. Obviously you're getting ready and you want to continue to progress, so you want to continue to study your maths, so don't stop completely. But let's say percentages didn't go as well as you'd have liked. Don't start working on percentages again next week. Take a proper break and then you go back, and the second loop around, the exposure and the practice you've had this time will make the second loop easier. And if you have to do a third loop, who cares? As long as you feel you're making progress each time, that's how we learn with maths. It's how we learn with anything, isn't it? All right. I hope that you've enjoyed working with us at Target Maths. I hope the course has really helped you grow in confidence in the areas that we've covered. It would be fantastic if you chose to study further with us. So do please check out our courses, and hopefully I will get to work with you again in the future. Thank you again, and well done. Really, really well done for completing the course.